Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Urban Reno Talk with Tamika and Steve. I am your host, Steve.
I'm Tamika.
Hey, what's going on, Tamika? How you doing today?
How are you?
Pretty good. I see you got baby Zoe in your arm.
Yeah, let's hope tonight that she behave herself.
Oh, she is cute. So what's been happening in Philly?
Nothing, just been cold.
Right. You know, we had a famous celebrity rapper recently had a transplant. We're not going to talk too much on it, but the rapper Philadelphia Freeway from your hometown just recently got a transplant.
Yep, but he came to your hometown to get the kidney.
Yeah, he came down to John Hopkins. Wow. Right.
So that's
incredible. That's maybe about 10 or 11 people who recently got kidney transplants.
Yes.
That we know of.
Yes, and that just tells people that you don't have to be in your city or your state to receive a transplant.
You
know, you can travel outside of your area to find a transplant.
Absolutely. So, Tamika, we definitely got a great guest on tonight. I mean, this person is really an advocate in, kidney disease awareness. She's a kidney warrior.
Awesome.
And the thing about her, I never heard of her before until maybe about a week to 2 weeks ago. All of a sudden, I've been seeing this name, Lisa Baxter. I mean, have you heard of her?
I think I did hear of her. I think I sent you something a while ago about the dialysis, like Reno show or whatever.
Okay.
Show. But as far as her coming around more, I just recently noticed it too.
Yeah, so let's stop talking about it and bring on, without further ado, we're going to bring on the host and producer of the Lisa Baxter Show, which is viewed on YouTube. Without further ado, Lisa Baxter.
Go ahead with
something. Hey, Lisa, how you doing?
Hey, Tamika. Hey, Steve.
How's everything going?
Oh, I'm alive and kicking, honey. I'm alive and kicking.
And you in New York, right?
Oh yeah, born and raised. Definitely, I'm right here.
Which borough? Which borough?
Well, I am born and raised in Brooklyn, but I live in Queens.
Okay.
Yeah, I live in Queens.
Queens in the house.
Woohoo!
Wow. So Lisa, me and Tamika was just talking that we really let me just speak for myself. I just really noticed you within the last maybe 2 to 3 weeks. Where you been hiding at?
Oh my goodness. What? I wasn't trying to hide.
I know that.
Oh, no, I wasn't trying to hide. I've been trying to put kids stuff out there for so many years and stuff. And I stumbled on you out of nowhere myself. So I looked, and I mean, lo and behold, I was so happy and so surprised. I knew I wasn't the only one that wanted to get, awareness out there or care about people or love people. I was so impressed. I keep on posting your stuff everywhere. Every time I turn around, I look at the show, I post the show. I touch so many things on it. I said, they probably said that woman need to cut it out.
No, I mean, we truly appreciate it. Nothing is never too much, especially when it comes to something like kidney disease.
You ain't never lied.
Especially all the people suffering with kidney disease. We need more and more people being advocates and doing whatever they can to get the word out, to raise awareness, so it won't be so many, or people start going to the doctors and getting checked out.
Absolutely.
Stage 4 or stage 5.
Yes, you try to do a little bit of everything. I've tried being serious. I've tried being humorous. I've tried, putting it out there. Even from the point of view of the show, I tried, getting different points of view from the family, a point of view from the doctor, because what the family deal with is one thing. What the patient themselves deal with is another thing. What the doctor is dealing with us is a whole nother thing as well.
Right. So, and the staff. And the staff. Don't forget the staff.
Yes. So everybody has they see a different point of view. We all in the same room, but we seeing something different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we got things in common, but we seeing something different. So
Right.
awareness is important.
Yes.
So Lisa, how does your journey start with kidney disease? Because I've seen your post when you first posted, and you mentioned that your family members suffered from this disease, and that you also shared that on the Lisa Baxter show. You interviewed several of your family members that were dealing with this disease. How did your journey begin with kidney disease that led you here today?
Well, what happened was I was getting married, and I happened to get I was getting annual checkups anyway, but I was getting married, and I got a test, and
How
they
long ago was this?
oh wow. Well, I was married for 23 years. So I was maybe like 32 when I got married. So when I found out about this kidney disease, polycystic kidney disease, you know, where the cysts get all over your kidneys
Right.
and they break down till they start working, kind of thing. It took mine 10 years to break down and stop working.
Hmm.
So when I got this news, I told my husband, who was my fiance, that listen, I don't know what this kidney disease is, but you know, if you don't want to get married, I understand, because I don't know what it mean. I haven't did any research, or I don't know anything about it. All I know is that I got it from my father, and then after a while, a couple of us, from my family members, end up getting it. So this is why, when I found this out, I asked him, well, you don't have to marry me. But he says, no, babe, I believe God, and we're going to get married anyway. And I just wanted to hear him say, I believe God. I knew I believe God, but you got to hear the brother say it.
Right.
So that's the way I went with it. So that's what started me on it. Once I got this disease, I still didn't know a lot about it, but I was trying to learn. I was really trying to learn stuff about it. But when I got on dialysis and stuff, I just saw a whole different world, and of people suffering or not understanding or knowing. Some of them wouldn't even try. They just, oh no, I heard about the dialysis. I'm not getting on there. I ain't going. So that that helped me to raise awareness, because some people wouldn't give it a chance. Some people wouldn't learn nothing about it. They wouldn't talk to the doctor. You know, I learned that we would share stuff with each other. Patient to patient
Mhm.
seemed to work. So I said, well, let's start with that.
Right.
Okay. Mm.
So, I was starting with the patient to patient thing, because I later became an advocate, and doing outreach and stuff like that. And I'm still to this day.
So, Lisa, let me ask you this. When you first got diagnosed, from the time you got diagnosed, how long was it that you started dialysis?
10 years.
So 10 years. And so it wasn't nothing pretty much you can do because you had polycystic kidney disease.
Right. I tried.
Did you try getting on the preemptive transplant list before getting on dialysis?
No. I mean, I have so much faith in God. I just really didn't think that I would really ever have to deal with dialysis. But you have to take care of your body too. I mean, I wasn't a health nut as I am maybe the last 15 or so years, but I became to eat better and take care of myself and watch what I'm eating, because sometimes you can just eat some things that you're not supposed to eat. So once I learned about this disease and what it does, I learned that what was it, coffee, caffeine would make the cyst bigger. They would say. I know one time I got injured or hit in my stomach or something, and something happened where my kidneys began to bleed. So I started learning certain things would cause the cyst to bleed or something like that. So you have to be educated about whatever you're going through. I don't care if it's a cold. So you have to learn how it affects you, how it affects your body, even down to the medications, how it would affect you as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So,
So.
did the doctors ever talk to you about what the outcome of everything is going to be later in life?
No, but to me, they didn't give much hope. You know what I mean? They didn't give much hope on it, but I kept staying faithful. But when I was told about this, I already had siblings on it. I had 6 siblings altogether on dialysis, 2
Wait
aunts,
a
the
minute.
uncle, and the mother-in-law.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
You had 6 siblings on kidney dialysis.
Yeah. One got on because of diabetes, and the rest of us had polycystic.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Trust me, we are warriors. You would have never known we were
Tamika,
sick or ill, you
That's
know?
how I mean, now for people in that certain situation where it's polycystic and it affects a family like that, how do we educate to because if it's polycystic, then that means it's going to happen at a,
right.
at
Yes.
some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess when it comes to that, then we need to encourage people to seek early
Sure.
transplant as soon as possible, and also
Yeah.
just prepare them for when they do get to that point, their options
Yeah.
and, the access and just everything so they can really be prepared if it comes to that point.
Yes.
And not just that, Steve, how to live with it, to know different signs and stuff, how to go back and forth to the doctor, to know what to look for,
Yes.
to be
Hmm.
your own advocate. Because sometimes the doctors just will wait until the last moment with things. But if you know what to look for with signs or whatever, be your own advocate. You can speak up for yourself.
Well,
Uh-huh.
sure. Sure.
Lisa,
Yeah.
were you were you the
The
only
Polycystic Foundation.
were you the only person out of your siblings that received a transplant?
Well, yeah, I was the only one that wanted to because my husband and my bishop talked me into getting a transplant because they told me my kidneys can start working. So I was waiting for that, but I mean, 12 long years went by.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now this is unbelievable. Somebody told you that your kidneys would start working again, and you waited 12 years.
No, they told me that my kidneys would start. Excuse me, my kidneys would start working again. At some point it could start working. It can generate and start back working again. And I figured if they can start back working, why tear me open and give me a kidney if my kidneys can start back working? So I waited because I was healthy while I was on dialysis. I took care of
Have you
myself very
found
well.
that person?
Hmm?
Have you have you found that person that said that to you?
Oh.
Have you seen them again?
No, I didn't. I haven't seen them again or anything
Was
like
that
that.
a doctor that told you that?
Hmm?
Was that a physician that told you that?
Let me think, because it's been so many years now. Because I've
No,
heard that like twice, and I've
and
seen it happen to some one of the evangelists had one treatment of dialysis, the kidneys booted up and started back working. And I
well,
know a polycystic kidney person that I sent referred to a doctor that I had. Her kidneys just started back. Started working because we was on the same side by side at the center. I was an advocate for her, and we were friends and co-workers and stuff like that, social workers together in different companies, and we still friends to this day. And her kidneys just started working. She just recently got on dialysis about maybe a year or two ago because I had her on the show, and we talked
so,
about that even on the show.
so let me just say something right quick. Dispels a myth with that because a lot of people, and they even have companies out there that's saying that they can reverse kidney failure, and that's not true. Now there are, and I know one kidney warrior that started dialysis
Mm.
and took herself off,
Ooh.
and her GFR is at 15%. She still had urine output, no symptoms, and she's not on dialysis. She's a health and wellness coach, and she's still not having any problems. Will she have problems? Who knows?
Yeah,
But
who knows?
but the point is, once your kidneys are damaged, the nephrons do not regenerate. If
Mm.
anybody knows about science, anatomy, and physiology, now you can have acute, your kidneys can go into acute rejection where
Uh-huh.
something happens and it shuts down the kidneys for a minute while they recover, and they can start dialysis until that point. Now, I've seen that happen many
Yes.
times,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to be acute kidney injury.
Right.
Oh, I
Acute
read some
kidney
about that
injury
in.
is,
Yeah.
is, is different. It's not chronic kidney disease. It's acute, meaning some type of traumatic um, situation happened where it shut down the kidneys. And I don't like to use this
Yeah.
this
Use
this um, example, but say for instance, when, in my career, I used to do acute dialysis, and I went to go treat a guy who shot dope. They found him in the hotel room, and they brought him to the hospital, and his kidney shut down for about a month. And I saw it started coming back because they had a Foley in them, and you can start. We did dialysis, but over a period of time, you can start seeing the urine starting to get more and more when we come into the room to dialyze them. So, somebody have a stroke, it can knock it down for a moment. So, yes, that can happen, but in the chronic portion of kidney disease, the kidneys are not going to, rejuvenate. But it's companies that's playing on people saying that they'll give them supplements or eat, help, take herbal supplements to reverse it, and that can't happen.
I've heard it all. Trust me.
And you,
I think years ago when my two sisters and I had went to a place and they wanted to, they said my sisters and them were it was too late, but mine I had a chance still, and that that I would be okay, but I couldn't have children if I took that supplement. Now, I'd move heaven and earth to have a baby. So I didn't want no supplement to stop that. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to go through that anyway. But sometimes I like to hear what somebody's going to say. I like to play it out. I just want to see. It doesn't mean you have to be correct or right because I'm going to find out because I'm going to do my research or I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to dig. And that's what we got to do. We got to dig.
Absolutely. So, Lisa, let me ask you, like I said, me and Tamika, we saw your shows. What led you to come up with the Lisa Baxter show? How did that concept come about?
Well, what happened was I started visiting centers. I would visit different centers. I would do therapeutic arts and crafts with them because I do a variety of workshops. So I would do different things, and having a full time job and being on dialysis and being married and a volunteer of so many programs and places and an advocate and it gets to be a lot. And I was traveling around the city and traveling on planes and everything and doing, speaking engagements and all kind of stuff, motivation. I said, well, if I did a show, if I could never make it to that country, that city, or that place, the show will get there. The show would get there. So I tried a contest that they were doing for people trying out different types of shows. So I knew they would never have heard of a dialysis reality or a show. So I said, well, let me try a show. And I was writing down different point of views of what I wanted to do, getting a point of view from a doctor, getting a point of view from a couple, getting a point of view for somebody young, somebody old, the children, the youth. So that's what I was trying to do. And I said, I'm going to do a show. And I did it. It wasn't easy. I tried doing it monthly first. So it played on cable and what have you. And I did it monthly first. And that's what I did. And the people started liking it and playing it. And then it started going to other places, BCAD, what is it, Brooklyn, Brook Arts Media, and, a little bit of every place. But I've tried everything. I got it on Google and this and that. It cost me an arm, a leg, and a foot on my own support. My sister that passed away did help me with a lot of stuff, and even my other sister, Yolanda, that's living, helped me with a lot of things too. Sewing into my life, sewing into this ministry of what I'm doing to help people. So that's very helpful. But my husband even sold into it. We all wanted to see this happen to help people and raise awareness some sort of way, give people hope. So that's why I would show myself on the machine. I showed myself when I got a transplant. I took pictures of myself. I was the own guinea pig. People were embarrassed. They scared. Sometimes I couldn't even get people on the show. So I my hat off to both of y'all because you're smashing kidneys and all this kind of stuff. I did that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at you. So sometimes people change their mind about coming on, or they get scared or shy off. So my hat's off to you guys, and people would run. So
Well, we come at this from different perspectives. Tamika, she's a dialysis technician over 20 years. Dialysis nurse, 33 years. I do have kidney disease, but I'm at stage 1. Tamika's son, when he was born, had a touch of kidney disease as well. So, but we're come. I know for me, I can't speak for Tamika, but
yes.
I'm coming from a, and Tamika too. We're coming from an educational point as healthcare workers. Seeing the lack of education that's not being provided to patients in dialysis. I mean, it's just it's to me it's unbearable, especially to see the amount of people right now that's being diagnosed. It is at an all-time rate. I mean,
Heartbreaking.
Yep. For me, I'm coming professionally and personally because I have sons and I know what they eat, and I have one who has kidney disease, and no one says that it's not going to come back. Though it was reversible, but they say it still can come back. He has nephrotic syndrome, so it could come back at any time.
Yes.
So I'm always trying to talk about it, advocate, but maybe when it's time, or if it's time for him, something would have happened where he'll get better care, or is something better out there for him.
Mm-hmm. So, Lisa, how long did you spend on dialysis before you received your transplant?
12 years. 12 years,
Ne-
3 times a week. I started out with 3 hours, then 3 hours and 15 minutes, and 3 hours and a half.
Mm-hmm. Did you have the same personality that you have now during that whole 12 years?
My friends and my family and my coworkers always laugh at me. Pretty much. I mean, you gotta look at dialysis a whole different way. You gotta look at it like it's saving your life, which it is. And humor is a good thing. A merry heart do a good like a medicine. You gotta make yourself happy with this thing. Bring your little treats with you, sit in that chair, do your thing, so you can do more stuff out there.
Uh-huh.
Get strength and then go strengthen your brethren. That's what it's about. You got to do that. You know what I mean? I couldn't stand to see another person, die on a machine, or the life drain out of them. You ever met somebody really happy and you met them in dialysis, and all of a sudden you meet them again, they're not talking now, they look smaller, they look skinnier, and they gave up? That is so heartbreaking. So
Right.
that's what make you become an advocate. That's what make you become a warrior. You got to change somebody's life. You got to help somebody improve on their life, and you got to be the example. The show would give that. You know what I mean? I can't say, yeah, you get on the dialysis machine. Let me see how you look on the machine. People private. A lot of people, they private. Me, I said no. Show me. I show my arm. My fistula is still in my arm. It works. I wish it was flat, but it's not. I ain't ashamed of it. I wear short sleeve, jump in the pool, bam. Hey, you can't stop living. Don't try to
Right.
stop.
Wow. Now, Lisa, let me just ask one question, Tamika. Um, During those 12 years, how many calls did you get that weren't the match? Did you get false alarms along the way?
Well, okay. All right. Listen, I waited. Well, since my husband was a perfect match, I really wasn't supposed to be waiting at all. By the time I might have been on about 10 years when I decided to maybe even get on the list.
Mm.
And what happened was, well, when my husband had passed away, I didn't even take his kidney. I was so hurt about him going. My sweet better half, the best gift God ever gave me was this man. And I just wasn't thinking about that. 6 months later, somebody said, Lisa, did you take Mitch kidney? And I'm like, what? I've forgotten. Even though I'm a donor myself of the rest of my body, not the kidneys. Nobody gonna want these kidneys. But even though I got 3, but I didn't think to take his, and I thank God for that stranger still that gave me his mama's kidney. Bless his life. Yeah.
Lisa, do you think if it was like maybe therapists in the unit, you wouldn't see so many people sad and broken down over the disease?
Well, being an advocate in the center and everything, you see really tired workers in there. I
Right.
mean, you see some of them got passion. I mean, I met some got passion. I still talk to some. I still visit centers, or my old centers, and some of them got real drive and real passion. But you can see where the work is taking a toll on them. You ever notice that they make mistakes when they're tired? When they're tired or they're aggravated or upset, I never let them put me on. I say, hold it. Don't no. Don't put me on right now. You know what I mean? You look upset. And sometimes they would get upset, but they gotta respect that this is my lifeline you talking about, and you a little upset. I want you to be professional putting me on. So, go back, breathe a little bit, calm down, and then come back, or just send somebody else over here. But some of them are fun. Some of them are sweet. Some of them are caring. I would even see some of them at the kidney walks I went to, raising money and coming out and, being a part. But some of them, I guess you see, it's, I guess, a paycheck to them or something. I don't want to judge, but you could see something was going on. I remember one time I came from work and I came to dialysis, and the person said, "Well, you fixed the sheet and the stuff." And I'm like, "Me? I just came from work myself. You supposed to help me with that. You know what I mean?" I
Right.
wasn't trying to be picky or bossy, but I was really tired myself. And if that's part of your thing you're supposed to do, why not you do it? I can't tell nobody that. I'm a social worker. I can't tell them, oh, you fix your own problem. Go on, come back over here. You I'm tired myself. So
So was it a lot of people rushing at the unit? I know for me as a dialysis tech, I hate being rushed. Like, don't walk in here and I'm putting my patient on. Please go back outside
I
because
ain't mad
it
at
does
you.
something to you when someone's hovering over your back and you're
Oh
trying
yeah.
to take care of your patients.
Oh yeah. You're not supposed to be up. They told us that we had to like stay out or wait till we're called.
Mhm.
The only time you would be a little frazzled if they took somebody else ahead of you. Sometimes they took them because the person was 4 hours and you was 3, and then sometimes they took them they didn't see you or they wasn't paying attention or he's doing the favoritism thing. But
Right,
I'm glad you were different from that. You know what I mean? You get a little bit of everything in the center. You get bad us too. Some of
right.
us got bad attitudes. We mad at the world, want to kill everybody and stuff. So you get it on both sides. You
Yes.
know.
But do you think therapist is needed? Like, do you think like psychiatrist is needed in the centers to deal with the patients that's depressed and stuff like that?
Well, that would be nice. I know when I first got on, everybody came. I even though I didn't have diabetes or anything, somebody was doing my foot and everything. Making sure your foot was right and clean and stuff like that. The nails and what have you, and the therapy. I think I might have seen her once or twice, but at least she came. And
Right.
that kind of helped. But we always think, oh no, we ain't crazy, and but this thing is something serious to deal with dialysis. I don't care what nobody say. I'm talking from a patient point of view. That's a very serious thing, and
Hmm.
you need all the help you can get.
Now, is there up in New York? I know, like they say, the city of 8 million people, but is there a lot of dialysis facilities in your
What?
area?
Please, me. I got a list because I write to all of them, and visit, write, send stuff. Is a lot. It really is a lot. In all 5 of the boroughs, there are plenty of dialysis centers. And
Hmm.
they have those shifts where early in the morning all the way to late at night. Because I've had any
Hmm.
shift. There's no shift I didn't have. I had the six
Hmm.
o'clock in the morning. I had the 5 o'clock, the 4 o'clock, the Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I had the Thursdays, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. You know, and they did accommodate. So if I had something special I wanted to do and wanted to switch a shift, they were very accommodating.
So let me ask you this: when you doing your 12, I mean, doing your 10 years.
12.
I'm sorry, 12. Did your treatment get cut like during holidays?
What? Not only then, sometimes if it was a snowstorm or they were backed up or something. They would if you had 3 hours, they wanted to do two, or they cut it maybe 30 minutes. So I told
Right.
them, well, when I'm not a cutting person. I don't like cutting nothing. I want my full stuff. But I can respect, understand why you doing it if you explain it to me. But I wasn't in favorable of that, because if I wanted to cut it, I got to sign the paper. Where your paper? Where you sign it?
Yes.
Don't get me started. Where you sign that?
All right.
It's that dotted line, so.
Well, no, we do actually have to justify that we cut your treatment. We do have to justify it, but I do understand where you're coming from. Like, where's your paper? To cut my treatment, but you don't have to. Like, you could say no.
Yeah, and they'll just put down patient refuse to sign.
Right.
Oh, they know my family. I had some tough customers. My sister, is tough. All of them were basically tough. They can hold their own in the center, and
Now, did y'all all go to the same clinic?
We were, four of us was in the same center, but they didn't like us on the same shift. Sometime I would come and my brother would be on, or my sister would be on, and we'd laugh and talk. And I learned at some point later the reason why they don't want you with your family in there. If something jump off or happen, you would be very excited. And that twice that happened to me. I was getting off, and one of my sisters had got a cramp or something happened, and she went, and I just ran over where she was at to help her, because she kept saying, "Lisa, help me, Lisa, help me, Lisa, help me."
Mm-hmm.
And I went over there to help Allie. So I said, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I was calm with it, But when I've had low blood pressure, I passed out in there. I know how it is. So sometimes you gotta, be wise. But I was the caregiver for my husband, and he called me one time on the machine while I was on the machine, and he said, "Lisa, I feel really sick. You gotta come on," something like that, and it upset me so much. I stood up. I had all the needles and everything in me, and they said, "Lisa, what are you doing?" And they know how close me and my husband is, because he would come to treatment sometimes, and they just knew him. He was still working. You would never knew he had colon cancer. 2 months before he passed, he started the show. God kept him. He had stage 4 for almost 3 years.
My
So,
condolences.
So those are the only 2 times I could see where it would affect you. But even when you friends with somebody, because we saw somebody die in there, and it upset the whole unit. That they used to have the curtains, and then I think the curtains was getting cleaned or something, and they tried to rally around the person so you couldn't see.
Wait a minute. You said somebody expired in the clinic while you were there?
Mm-hmm. It was one. We couldn't believe it, because we said, "Wait, what happened?" And you get close to the person, you get to know them. You get a bond going and all.
It happened right there in the unit.
Yeah, but they didn't tell us, but we knew it, because you tell the difference when somebody dead, because nobody, all that work you was doing, and you done slowed down or came to a halt. Come on now, but our hearts was torn out. It was really broken, and that's another time you need the psychiatrist or somebody to come. A little talky talk, something, a little prayer, something.
Right. Did anyone come around and talk to you guys after that occurrence?
Well, they was acting a little secretive about it. They really didn't want us to know. I think, but you heard them whispering. The way they was talking and looking, the body language told the whole story, even if the mouth didn't.
Right. Do you think seeing that brings fear to patients too?
Yeah, it can. It could bring a fear, to them. One of the patients across from me, he would kept, sliding over to the side, and I said, hey, I was talking to him from across, and I kept saying, "What's the matter? Stay up. Stay up." So I kept saying, "Somebody come over here, please. He looked like he's gonna fall," and they just kept passing me and everything. Even though I was the advocate, even though I was talking, they kept passing to me. So I got my phone out. That's that kind of way now. Not only did I get the bosses on the phone, but before I got the people, because I know everybody, I started taping the person while they was bobbing and weaving and flying and falling all the way on their machine. That's when somebody saw me doing that, and he ran over there and he said, "You put that down," and you said, "Like I'm scared. Come on. Hey, come on. Not only am I blessed and anointed, I'm not scared, cat. You know what I mean? So I told him, "No, you come over here." I said, "What I mean?" They said, "Well," the nurse said, "Well, he does that all the time, and he acts that way." I said, "I don't care how he acts. You get paid. You get paid to look at him, look after him. I don't care if he was, what he was doing. You supposed to go over there, stay over there. I'm getting excited over here. The machine start going off when you moving. All the lights start blinking, everything. You know how it go." And now I'm looking at the guy, and I'm concerned about him. I'm caring about him, and the staff not.
Where was the staff?
It was there. You know how that is with that big unit, the big rooms there. Well, we had 32 chairs. Don't get me started.
Wait,
Oh,
32
wait a
no,
minute.
chairs with
I'm
couches.
next to
Wait
my
a minute.
patient. I'm next to
32
my patient.
chairs?
Yeah, but that row I was in, somebody's in every row. Somebody
Yeah,
was in every
see,
row. A couple of them in every row.
and,
No,
and, and see, Lisa, we had many warriors on our show, and some, go to clinics with 12 chairs or 24, large amount. But you said 32. Now, what the majority were minorities in those chairs, or was it mixed, or what was the ratio?
I would say it was, well, it's a lot of Hispanic and there's a lot of us, of course.
Mhm.
But you did see, saying Bengali. You saw, Asian. You saw a little bit of everybody. You was picking up some languages up in that piece. You know what I mean? I was learning a little this, that, and the other now. So yeah, you saw a little bit of everybody, and a lot of them were
Hmm.
really frightened. A lot of them were scared. A lot of them wouldn't come back after one treatment. You had to really coach them out. I was talking to the social worker one time because one of the guy was living in his car. It was too cold out there for that. So I said, well, I'm resourceful, so I like to give stuff out. I said, listen, because of HIPAA, you can't tell me anything, but I'm telling you as a patient or a patient advocate or area rep, rep, that this person is living in a car and I'm getting scared because the degrees is dropping and I don't know what might happen to him, this, that, and the other. And I was very upset and everything, and I gave him services for him because sometimes in the center they don't do social work like that. They only get your Medicare for you, and that's about it. Now don't get me started. The Medicare and the other stuff for you, but they won't do nothing else. So I'm like, he living in his car. I don't care if you just handing them the paper or calling people. I'm willing to do it, but since you won't do it through me, here's the paper. You do it. But
Right.
anyway, he died, and I was very upset.
Mm.
So that I even forgot about that story. I don't even know why I remembered that. But some stuff stay with you. They stay with you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Do you think your show has been effective in raising awareness to kidney disease?
I would say it is. It is. I mean, a lot of people talk to me. They call me about the show, or they'll laugh about it, or they say I didn't know that, or I never heard that before, or the person was brave. Like you have a lot of brave warriors, like you call them warriors, which is a great thing. That's a good name. The kings and queens have been on your show, so I know that this has raised awareness. That's all I have is the show and my books that I've written. Those are the only
Hmm.
things that bring awareness besides showing up.
Oh, you're an author as well.
Yeah, Through the Eyes of a Dialysis Patient is my first book. Melzy Takes Dialysis to Show and Tell. Gribbet Gets a Kidney. Those are two children books because children are on dialysis too. We can't forget about the kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have any
Wow.
books on you so you can show them so people
Sure.
can purchase them?
Yeah. Um. This is, I don't know if you can see it. This is Through the Eyes of a Dialysis Patient. They even have the colors and the colorfulness of,
Yeah,
you
hold
know.
it up.
Can you see it?
That's
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. You could get this at books at bookbaby.com. I donated to a lot of places, to prisons, children prisons in general, hospitals and stuff, and did discounts for free and what have you. Give it as a gift. But the children books, I take them to. This is, you see, the Melzy Takes Dialysis to Show and Tell talks about a great aunt that she had on dialysis and took the picture of her being on it and
hmm,
talked about that, and it brought awareness. So
that's
I
good.
wrote that because my great niece used to tell my sister and I, what's wrong with your arm? We said we went to the doctor. She said, well, tell the doctor to stop sticking you like that because the fistula get
Mhm.
big, and and everything. So I call her nickname. Her name is Melody, but
Mhm.
I call her Melzy as a nickname. So when I titled the book, I said Melzy Takes Dialysis to Show and Tell because she was very small and
Right.
young. And my sister educated her grandchildren because they knew how to do peritoneal and everything. Stick a matter of fact,
Wow.
her granddaughter stuck her because she had passed out. My sister was diabetic, And my sister woke up and said, "What did you do?" She said, "Look, see, Grandma, you wasn't responding, and I stuck you." See, I don't know what Melanie was, 5 or whatever she was, but she knew how much and everything. I had interviewed her on my show about that.
Oh wow.
Wow.
You know, her grandchildren.
Incredible.
Yes.
Now, you had one subject that I thought was very interesting, and you didn't hold back. And this is something that a lot of warriors don't talk about publicly, and that was intimacy and kidney disease. What made you touch on that subject?
What? Well, because because I was married a long time, and my husband, we believe, being married and not just playing around, and he was my first. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes, you know how you change when you on dialysis. You start getting dark. I don't drink, but I had bloodshot. I had a drink, and I got dark and everything. I was light at one time. I don't know what happened. I was light skinned, trying to be a little light skinned, whatever. But what made me talk about it is I was walking through the unit one day, and one of the men said, "You don't know what I go through. Sexually, you don't know what I go through." And I said, "Well, I'm not a man. No, I don't know. But I'm going to tell you what I learned. If you're going to be intimate, you cannot be intimate while the day of dialysis. If I don't know nothing else, no, I'm not a man. You are so right. But I know one thing, you will give out if you try to do it the day you have dialysis." So that's what I learned. And he couldn't believe I said it, but I said it to him because he was so upset. And I know, you want to be with your partner, your love and everything, but things happen. And sometimes you got to take that hug for now. You know what I mean? Take that caress for now, or you know, the same person that loved you and waited can wait 5 more minutes, or the next day is just the next day.
Right.
Right, right. So that when that gentleman said that, or when you had that conversation, that's what led you to talk about that on your show.
Well, that was one of the reasons, but I talked about that because I talked about that also in my book because you see yourself changing,
Mm-hmm.
and you still, even when my husband got sick and his nurse said, "That's him in the picture." I said, "Well, you don't look like that." I said, "That's him." Cause I'm his wife, I see him inside out. You know what I mean? He looked the same to me. I never thought he looked different. He even
Right.
told me he looked different. But I'm
So
just saying that intimacy, it just the love show more than whatever changes that might hurt you or make you embarrassed is what I'm trying to say.
right now, what would you say to the person who is single that is looking for uh, a relationship, or someone that is, boyfriend or girlfriend, not married? Now, and there's plenty of warriors out there that deal with that situation. What would you say to them?
Well, first of all, the person might not know you before before you got on dialysis. So they didn't know what you looked like before. My husband knew what I looked like. I knew what he looked like before he got sick. You know what I mean? Sometimes the person will love you through anything, and then sometimes a person will be scared and run. I knew somebody that found out the person got sick, couldn't deal with a colostomy bag or whatever, and they just left. You know what I mean? And you try to pick up the pieces with the person. You really can't do anything, but you try to listen, try to be prayerful, try to be sweet, help out, do something for the person to try to keep their mind off it or till they heal or something.
Yeah.
But I would say be yourself. Be yourself, because the person have to love you and accept you for what you are, for every scar that you have, for whatever you're dealing with. They have to love you. They'll see the beautiful you, no matter how you seeing you or how you feel about it being on dialysis. All they see is that beautiful person that you really are, and you got to give that person a chance, because that's the real you anyway.
Mm,
Right. I think that it needs to be like a true candid conversation, and maybe a sex therapist can help you find other ways, like maybe lube or touching or a tantric sex, something else that's intimate. If you can't be intimate,
Well,
different ways.
you'll become creative. You
Yeah,
become creative when being married. You become creative, and sometimes you have to accept that that's just not it. The person can really be sick.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? And not,
It's not good.
I always used to flirt with my husband and everything like that. Even in this hospital guy, I'd flirt with him. you know, I wanted him to still feel good or like a man. I didn't want him to feel like, oh my God, you know, you're thin or you skinny or whatever. So,
Right.
I said, come here, good looking, you know, or something. I say something that make him feel better. And sometimes words can be so beautiful. It can really go a long way. You know, somebody say something sweet to you, I grin all over. You can't say nothing to me without me. What? You know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
we all need that. Whether you
Mm-hmm.
married, whether you single or by yourself. And even though I'm a widow, now, I ain't looking for nothing. I mean, I had it. God don't have to give it to me 100 times. But I do appreciate what he did give me. Sometimes you can't look at what you lost. You got to look at what God gave you. Because I could have not met Mitch. I could have not been with him or met him or had life with him at all. So I had to take what I got. Now I still cry sometimes, but I still hurt and ache. And he's been gone 3 years, and I
Mm-hmm.
still wear my wedding ring. I have no problem with it. Some people look at it, but what you looking at? That's my baby gave that to me. I'm not taking it off. It's not like I'm getting married again. So you have to do what's best for you. I'm not crying about it. Do I look? Yeah, I'm not crying about being by myself. I'm not lonely, but I'm basking in the love that God gave me for him and all of my family because I'm tight with my family. We seriously
Mm-hmm.
tight, You couldn't get no tighter. So I do things with them and friends, and I'm always running around advocating somewhere. So take time for a vacation. Though, trust me, you gonna
Right.
need that.
So Lisa, can you move your phone a little bit? You kind
I'm
of
sorry. Where? Up,
okay.
down, where? This way?
Come over just to your right a little bit. I mean to your left.
Oh, okay, this way. This way?
Yeah, right there.
I ain't mad at you.
Um, what can you take us back to the day? Because we're kind of getting ready to run out of time. But can you just take us quick and tell us the day you found out that you got your kidney? What was that day like?
What? I was at work. And they called me. I said, get out of here.
So you was at work? Was you just working? You got a call on your cell phone or at the
No, they
office?
called me at the job. And my boss said, what do you, there was nobody there. I couldn't leave right away because I needed the people to come in the center first. I think I was the only one basically there kind of. And I waited a little bit and I started packing up my stuff and everything. They said, get out of here, Lisa. I jumped on a train and I rode all the way to that hospital. Every time I packed the bag, I was never able to carry the bag. I had no luggage, nothing with me. I had to go as is. Now, one last quick thing. You said they did offer me a kidney from a donor with a drug use. I had to say no to that. And I was number 4 on the list because of whatever Obama did or whoever. Because I was on dialysis 12 years, what made me number 4 instead of so far waiting 7 years like some people. So,
Wow, I didn't know that. So if you've been on for a long period of time, they'll move you up the list.
yeah, I didn't actually be moved. Next thing I know, I was moved. I didn't know what happened. Hey, I didn't ask no question. Give me that kidney.
How
So
many years you have to be on dialysis before that happens?
I don't know because I was on 12. And they said, oh, they called me. So I'm like, what? I was on my way to the hospital because I caught a bad cold from one of the children before I got it. They called me while I was in the ambulance. And I told them I'm on my way to the hospital. They said, oh, we can't give you no kidney if you're sick. Or I had a
Right.
bad cold. I couldn't get rid of it. And the dialysis unit made me go to the hospital. I didn't want to go, so they called while I was in the chair. I kept saying, "Oh,
Mm.
I'm gonna get better. I'm going." I used to try to do it myself before I would. I wouldn't go respectfully to a doctor, but I wanted to do it myself. And I gave up and went to the hospital. So I was called about 3 times, and I think one time they gave it to a child and before me because they was in bad shape or something. I told them, no, if there's somebody in bad shape, get them that kidney. I was fine while I was on dialysis. I had no emergency to get the kidney.
Wow,
I
that
could
was
wait.
very nice of you.
Yes, most people wouldn't have cared. They wouldn't.
Wow.
I'm sure somebody cared besides
Yeah,
me.
you the second person I heard say they did that. Joe Bueno, he runs Transplant Warriors 24/7.
I saw that
In
too.
his story, he said he got called for a kidney multiple times, and one time he got called, and it was either between him or the kid. And, it was a adolescent, and he
Mm.
gave it to the adolescent.
Yeah, yeah. Kids gotta live.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta live. So
Wow. So what kind of advice or encouragement could you give warriors who been on dialysis 10 to 12 years, such as yourself, and they're still waiting for a kidney, or maybe not even on the transplant list,
mm.
and maybe thinking about, taking the plunge and getting on the list? What kind of words of advice could you leave them?
I would say be ready if you're going to get this thing. It's a lot of tests you got to take and deal with. The stress test and everything, the blood test. You got to go to your GYN if you're a woman, and what have you. You got to be in good shape. So get in shape. Do what you need to and you have to do, and just wait patiently. Stay busy while you're waiting. Don't just sit by the phone because that's going to drive you more crazy. You're gonna be saying, "Oh, what? They ain't call me yet, or they called me." You don't have to do all of that. Just live while you wait, and it'll come, and you'll be glad it came. It was
Mm,
something else. Now, I experienced some things, but they weren't bad things at all. I
mm-hmm.
thought it would be worse, but it wasn't that bad at all. It wasn't that much pain. You know what I mean, with the drainage and all of that kind of stuff. And I learned a lot of stuff with that. Woo!
So, how has your faith been during this whole process?
What? Well, I met God young, and He been following me for my whole life, and I'm sticking with Him, and I'm staying with Him, and He loves me. I know He does, and He has done great things for me. And people that didn't see it or know it now. They know it today, and they will see it because it always gonna show in my life what He does. And I know He's in y'all life because I see what He's doing with y'all. Oh, I do, and I just thank God all the way.
Mm-hmm.
My faith is very strong.
Mm-hmm.
It has not wavered.
What's the future for the Lisa Baxter show?
Well, the Lisa Baxter show is going places. So it's not. It's. Well, I can't tell it because per person told me not to tell it. But it's going places, and it's going to be in a big way. And I'm so proud. I've been doing flips ever since. I done wrote ideas down for new shows and other shows. I even wrote a little cute little theme song. Don't get me started. I was so happy. I only slept 4 hours because of you. I didn't eat dinner last night. I didn't eat dinner tonight. I was so excited. So.
So, Lisa, you just said because of Steve. What Steve do?
He told me not to say it. I can't say it because I think he want to say it. That's why I haven't said it. Or I'd say it. If he gave me the wink or the point, then I'm going to let it out, boy. I'm gonna let that cat out the bag. I didn't tell my family though. I couldn't hold it at. I just couldn't do it.
All right, guys.
Oh,
I couldn't do it. Y'all better. Oh wow, y'all my new family. Cut that out.
All right. Well, people will see.
oh, Steve, even Zoe over here laughing.
Oh, you got the baby. Oh man, I'm good if I got the baby to laugh now. All right now. That's the
That's
part.
great, Lisa. That's great. So, anybody want to say hello to before we depart ways?
Oh, you mean my family?
Yeah, any shout outs?
Oh my God. Cito, Tawana, Latrell, Melody, Tashana, Rimothea, Damien, Paris. I know I'm forgetting somebody. Mo, Bishop Rochford, Archbishop Rochford. Okay, Lady Pam, New Life Cathedral. If I do it that way, I'll be more easier. Catholic Charities. And I guess that's it. All the warriors out there, stay strong, stay alive. I always say, take care of your kidneys and they'll take care of you. That's my slogan anyway. I don't know what I'm doing with this phone. Maybe because it's my arm that I can't get it straight now. Oh Lord. But yeah. So to all everybody out there who's watching, who's looking, to my great two beautiful hosts, handsome hosts, sorry. Thank
Thank you.
everybody out there. The whole kidney world, and any other illnesses that's out there too. We respect you too.
All right. All right, Lisa. Well, we'll definitely be talking with you soon. And we appreciate you coming on Urban Reno Talk with Tamika and Steve, and look forward to working with you as well.
Yeah.
And, getting the information out there.
Yes. Anywhere, anytime.
All right. All right. We talk to you soon, Lisa.
Okay, thank you.
All right, take care. Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Lisa Baxter, everyone. Thanks for joining. So I'd like to thank Lisa for coming on. Yeah, the cat's out the bag. She's gonna be it's all good. Yeah, absolutely.
Steve.
Yeah. And also we want to let people know starting March the 6th, we're going to be hosting a new show called The Warrior's Quest. Host going to be Jared Brown, and this show is going to have 6 warriors, hopefully every week, 6 different kidney warriors that are searching for a kidney donor that want to tell their story. We give them 5 minutes each to share their story and seek for a donor, and we hope that that will raise awareness to kidney transplant donation. What do you think about that, Tamika?
I think that's awesome. And it just won't raise awareness. It'll get their call out there. Like, it'll get people asking, because they say if you don't ask, then you don't receive.
Absolutely.
So it may even get more kidneys.
Yeah. And the good thing about it, Tamika, is one episode, you have 6 people on there, 30 minutes, and it's going to be loaded up to YouTube. Potentially billions of people go on YouTube. So, it has a potential to really make an impact.
Right. Opportunities for Steve is really endless.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why we encourage people to come aboard to get on the Warriors Quest. We still have slots open for March and April coming up. The spring is coming up. So if you're on the kidney transplant list and you've been trying to seek a living donor and you want to take this opportunity, it doesn't cost anything. All you have to do is reach out to Jeffrey and Jared Brown. They will take your information and, go from there with what needs to be done and how you'll be able to get on the show.
Right. And I think it's good it's going to be starting in March because, March is Kidney Awareness Month.
Oh, so, I didn't even think about that.
Yes. So that's also a good campaign to push it with, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
yes, it's going to be awesome. God has some major things working in our favor to help people.
Absolutely. Oh, tomorrow night, Tamika, I got the on Kidney Disease Education Moment. I was able to get the Kidney Boys. Now, they from Pennsylvania. Rap duo. They had transplant. One has the left kidney, one has the right kidney they refer to. They have a brand new song called Rejection. It's a rap duo. They sung out at the transplant games in Salt Lake City this past year, 2018. So they're going to be on the show tomorrow, and hopefully they'll sing a couple of bars of their new hit Rejection.
We're live, so anything happens.
Huh? What you over there feeding?
Steve will probably be back shortly. If not, the transplant boys will be on tomorrow.
The Kidney Boys.
Hopefully they'll be singing their rap. So that's all I know.
It's the Kidney Boys.
I know.
You can't hear me?
I'm sorry. I'm so silly.
Okay. Can you hear me? Tamika.
Steve, where are you? Let me call him.
I'm here. All right, guys. I'm not sure what happened, but we're going to end the broadcast. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, watching Lisa Baxter, I guess. Tomorrow, we're going to have on the Kidney Boys at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Be here and watch these guys. They're incredible. and they're going to sing a couple of bars of their new hit song, Rejection. So let me see. I think my partner wants to come back on, but I lost it. So thanks again, everyone, for watching the show. We see you tomorrow. Good night next week. We'll see you again on Urban Reno Talk with Tamika and Steve. God bless you and good night.